to come, by the way, later on. Jeremy Jones will have his hands full against Johan Chua. And the last match of the day on the main TV table will be Shane Van Boening against Duong Kwok Wang.
Maybe Johan Chua will have his hands full with Jeremy Jones.
In between matches, by the way, after he beat BJ Usri, I did approach Jeremy and broach the subject of him paying us commission.
Well, I mentioned it to Carl as well while you were over here eating. I am sure he'll do the right thing, Phil.
He came out with a really good reply, actually. I said, what about commission, Jeremy? He said, well, 10% between the three of you wouldn't go very far. So, fair enough.
That's not bad. Watch the 9, almost got the golden break into the left middle. This is going to be a fun match to call and watch. Both of these players extremely exciting. Look at the flick on the 9. We haven't seen much of that on this table. As a matter of fact, Phil, I don't know that I've seen any golden breaks to the side pockets.
No, me neither.
Oftentimes, you'll call a tournament and there'll be 4 or 5 in a day.
Well, I was making this point earlier when I was commentating with Carl. At the World Masters last year, obviously 16-player event, so that means 15 matches in total because it's single elimination. 15 matches, and we had 15 golden breaks.
Yeah, something's got to be going on there. Skyler, is there something going on with the clock? Chip off the 3, doesn't want to hit the 9. Yeah, so Biado with a look at the 3. Obviously not straightforward. If he can get enough of it, Phil, he might try and get back down here behind the purple. Hard to tell. Watch the cue ball here. Has he gotten away with this? Guess he played the 3 over there behind the 9, but could have been a lot worse if Skyler can't make this. Gonna cross it to the top right. Just come down, I assume. Behind the pink. Yeah, pretty good.
The pockets at the UK Open were beyond tight. They weren't easy at the European Open either. Now bear in mind this is day 4, so there's no day 1 stuff going on. I think these pockets are playing a little easier than they were in Germany. And I will give you one case in point in that last rack of Joshua Filler's win. The ball he knocked in could easily have stayed on the table.
Yeah, you're referring to the purple 5. Caught it real thick. Speed is the only reason it stayed down. I think another reason, Phil, that these tables are playing a little easier this year is, if you recall, we were upstairs last year. I think it's a little more humid upstairs. Phil, he's missed that ball. That's kind of inexcusable. Was he too quick or did he just miss it?
That is a really extraordinary error.
Yeah. No excuse to miss that ball. You can't win like that, Woodward.
And very unsettling in the opening rack.
that's going to sting. Looks like Biado will draw first blood. Although, to be fair, it's not like we've seen a lot of racks run on this table. It's been breaking fairly difficult.
When you miss a ball of the simplicity of the ball that Skyler Woodward missed, you expect to lose a rack, and he duly did. So Carlo Biado, who's trying to regain this title 3 years after he won it initially, leads 1-0. Got a great backstory, you know, Carlo Biado. He's 40 years of age now. Looks good for it, by the way. He started playing pool when he was 13. And while he was still a student, he also worked in a different sport. He worked as a caddy at the Villamore Air Base golf course near his home in the Philippines. And after work, after carrying those bags around in the heat all day, he would play pool in the evenings. All of that dedication has paid off immensely. He's won the two biggest titles in the game: the World 9-Ball Championship and, of course, the US Open. Won the World 9-Ball in 2017, the same year he was voted Philippine Sportsman of the Year.
Biado, just another example of all the class that comes out of the Philippines. Good view of Woodward right there. Oh, he's got the 3 down. He's got the 5 down. Pink needs to slow down, and it has. He's got a pocket to the top right with the 1. Really good contact here. It's a little awkward with the bridge. Over the 9. Oh, he's got a gap through the 7 and 9, so this makes life a whole lot easier. Very thick.
On more than one occasion against Melling, he was missing balls down the rail like that. Now, we know he's been a devotee of wooden cues, and he has gone to carbon. I think the Melling match was a real shock to his system.
Two misses back-to-back from Woodward. Straight in on the 6. This one not straightforward. Once again, Phil. Not supposed to miss this ball.
The only solace for Woodward, where the 1 came to rest.
Pretty good touch. I believe he's got him cut off. Needs to catch the bottom half of the 1 here. He's kicking to the right or left long rail. I guess he could afford from the left long rail to catch the top side of the 1. Good chance of catching the 7. If he hits the bottom half of the 1, And he has caught the 7. The 7 is going to go. He's going to chip the left side of the 1 here. No, he seems to be off to me, Phil. He knew right when he hit it, he was going to leave the gap.
Yeah, I've seen this with Skyler Woodward on more than one occasion in the past. Almost immediately you can tell. Actually, another player who's very similar to that, Jason Shaw.
Both have similar styles as far as pace around the table. You know, you mentioned the carbon fiber with Biado. Typically, if you're used to wood and you go to carbon fiber, the outside spin is extremely hard to get used to. Either you'll catch it too thick or too thin, usually too thick. I was just thinking about the one he missed down the rail. Now he tries to make the adjustment with the outside spin and way overcuts it.
Yeah, that one was a poor shot, as is this. Well, can you get your hat on?
This is 4 or 5 errors. 4 errors for Woodward in 4 innings. And it's still the first game.
In any walk of life, if you do well, there's a phrase in England, they say it's a captain's innings. Well, he's the captain, but the innings from Woodward haven't been good at all, have they? Not a captain's innings in that sense.
Yeah, this has been a bit of a crazy first game. And I think it is 1-0, Biado. We'll get that updated.
Yeah, the first rack, if you're just joining us, was decided when Woodward missed a dolly 6 ball. And yet, incredibly, he's got a chance here to get back onto level terms.
And he made that actually look quite easy, digging out of that lower left corner. Needed to come real tight to keep for a shot on the pink. Could just float the 6 in. This is what makes these guys great. Make several mistakes and immediately recover, Phil.
Yeah, we shouldn't be too hard on Woodward. It's only the first couple of racks. But he will be very pleased to share them the way he's played so far. Plenty of opportunity, plenty of time for improvement. 1-1. Now these last 32 matches still going on. Vitaly Pachura 8-5 on Oscar Dominguez. 7-5 for Max Lechner over Alex Pagulayan. David Al-Kaidi, what a start he's made against Wu Kun Lin. Couldn't be better. He leads 5-0. Michael Bohannon has taken the first rack from Lee Van Corteza. Bohannon hard on the heels of his win over Ralph Suke in the last 64. On table 1, which you can see on the Matchroom Multisport YouTube channel, Fedor Gorst has lost the first rack against Alexa Pachalch. Albin Auschen, we haven't seen an awful lot of Albin. He's been fighting away, and do not write him off, never write him off. He's 4-1 up on Ko Ping Han. And Ko Ping Yi is 4-1 up on Imran Majid. So Ko Ping Yi and Auschen could be on collision course there for a last 16 meeting. Last 32 matches yet to begin. The two Jeffries, Rodder and Ignacio. Jan Chua against Jeremy Jones. Konrad Yuzhishin against Jason Shaw. And Shane Van Boning against Duong Quoc. Jason Shaw, by the way, will play Yuzhishin on table 2. That's on the Matchroom TikTok.
Man, the one goes high. Somewhat of a miss hit. I want to take another look. I know he got kissed into the left middle. Oh yeah, he cut him way too thick. Cue ball was always heading that way. Got a kiss off the purple 5. Woodward not dialed in as of yet.
Can't disagree, but neither is Biado.
And it is early. We touched on that. That was fun to watch, although a bit steep on the 2. Round 7 is a big ball. He's gotten around that without any troubles. I don't believe Pink 4 plays in the top right, so he's got work to do here. Looking to draw past the 9, or can he come around 3 rails below it? I don't know about that. The 3-rail line, Bill, could be an issue. Navigating the 9 and 7. He might just wrap, draw around the right side of the 9. Might also just bank it. So he took the 3-rail line, came up short. Really digging down on the cue ball here. Wow, he got a lot out of that.
Yeah, he's one of those players who holds the ball well. Got a very compact cue action. Here might have a situation of partially hampered cueing. Could have been worse. Just about okay.
Here's another really good look. Coming right into line on the 8.
There you go. Carlo Biado won the first, and he's back in front at 2-1. He's had a pretty good year. Obviously, he won at the weekend, because we've mentioned that on several occasions. The Rax Met Vergara Pro-Am up in West Hempstead, New York. He convincingly beat Alex Kazakis 13-4 in the final. 74 players in that event. Some really good ones as well. He remained undefeated. He also won the Chinese Taipei 9-ball championship. By the way, when he won that MVP at Rax at the weekend, he was successfully defending the title he won last year. Now then, over on table 1, Fedor Gorsht is in a spot of early bother. Very different to his match against the defending champion Ko Ping Chung earlier, when he raced ahead. Here, he's 2-0 down to Alexa Pachelsh. And let's not forget, Pachelsh, in the last 64 earlier today, won the first 8 racks against John Morrow.
Yeah, and let's not forget that Federer had a little bit of a hard time closing out Chung in the last match. He did jump ahead. I believe he was up 8 games to 2, 9 games to 3. Did close it out, but it took him 4 more games, I believe. And back to the main table. Biado to break. And the 1 just high again. Does the 8 go? It does, and look at this. The cue ball and the 1 gonna dress up.
This is how you like them.
I don't know what line he's on here. Does he want to draw past the 2, or can he stay below it? Well, everything has gone wrong there, Phil. Everything has gone wrong. I don't even know what English he was using.
You know, against Melling twice, he played shots like that at very close range with power and lots of side, and missed both of them.
Yeah, but in accordance to where the cue ball finished, it just makes no sense. All he had to do was pull the cue ball backwards. And this is a little light-handed, maybe. It probably turned out okay, though, the more I'm looking at it. He's going to lose the cue ball in the top left, and it's going to be ball in hand for Woodward.
So far, this is a mistake fest.
I appreciate your honesty, Phil.
Well, it is.
You're absolutely right. It can happen. They're human. It's almost too steep right here. I think you'll be all right. But really no reason to have such a big angle. Okay, nice recovery. He's just fine. You can also play the pink in the left center if you'd like. Play it in the lower right. Taking a look at the shot clock. Down to 10 seconds now. He's going to play the pink in the left center. I like the play, less cue ball movement. float forward here. Even better. He wants to keep the cue ball on the left side here. This way he can come two to 3 rails out. Most likely just 2. Might come all the way over to the 3rd rail. Notice the cue ball lengthen out there off that 2nd rail. I don't want to say it, Phil, but I've got to. It's my job. This is missable.
Yeah, he's taken his extension on the 9 ball. You don't see that too often. But if it's there to use, why not use it? Like a coupon for a foodstuff you wouldn't ordinarily have. If it's there, use it.
Yeah, no doubt. He's kind of in the middle, right? He can't roll it, I don't think. That's why you saw him making that cue motion. A little bit of low outside here. Oh, and it's been missed, Phil.
Scott Frost had the vibe. I must admit, I didn't. He was right.
Well, he's just kind of in the 50 here. He almost acted like he wanted to level out, but the side pocket was in the way. Just not himself yet. Woodward seems extremely uptight.
Carlo Biado must be delighted to be 3-1 ahead, slapping the table because he knows, even though he's made a good start scoreboard-wise, he hasn't in terms of the quality of his play. But Skyler Woodward really having a mare so far. On table 19, Vitaly Pachura is now 8-6 up on Oscar Dominguez. Dominguez fighting hard, as you might imagine. Max Lechner on the hill against Alex Pagulayan at 9-5. Woo Kun Lin has finally got his first rack on the board. He trails David Al-Kaidi 5-1. Lee Van Corteza and Michael Bohannon 1-1. I think you'd make Corteza favourite in that, but it's a tough one to call. Now, we were watching Fedor Gorsht on table 1 a while ago. Well, he's 3-0 down to Alexa Pachelsh, the world 9-ball champion, in early strife. Albin Auschen, twice a world 9-ball champion. He leads Koping Han 4-2. And it's all sweetness and light. Everything in the garden is rosy for Koping Yi. 6-1 up on Imran Majid, who came through that thriller against Chris Melling earlier today, when Melling, in the deciding rack, scratched on a safety.
Yeah, it's pretty heartbreaking. It seems like those two, Majid and Melling, draw each other quite often. And I know, like you said, they're good friends.
Yeah, I was telling the story, wasn't I? I saw them in the casino last night, pre-draw, walking around and having a chat. Then, of course, the draw came out, and I think they might have gone their separate ways.
I believe they played each other in Saudi Arabia as well. Yeah. Nothing going here. Cue ball finishing way up table again. Yeah, just Really just good action off the 9. I didn't see a lot wrong with the hit. Woodward scratching his head. Actually pretty tough push out here. That's what he elects to do. Weighing up some type of a kick, Phil. Just looking to put him down here in the lower right corner. Called the extension and a push. Understandable in this situation.
Pushing out against anyone always requires lots of thought, especially against a Filipino. You don't want to leave a kick because they're brilliant at that. What do you do?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of liked his first decision down here in the lower right. Did he trying to tie these up? Oh, this isn't bad, though. This is pretty clever. He was in a bad spot. Probably going to get it back. But not bad. Woodward's got a chance to get this down.
Yeah, he's a pretty good jumper, isn't he?
And it carries position. I think that's why there is a benefit to the push out here. Be different if all he could do was make the ball. Yeah, and he hit it good. Just spit it out.
He's not lacking support in there. When the one refused to drop, there were oohs and ahs and groans of dismay.
I love to watch Biado play. When he's playing good, come 2 rails out here towards the center.
Now that was table 2, where Max Lechner is in celebratory mood because he's beaten Alex Pagulayan. Lechner into the last 16 to take on Vitaly Pachura or Oscar Dominguez. Pachura in front there, but it's tightened up. Dominguez only 8-7 behind. Lechner beating Pagulayan 10-5.
Yeah, he just doesn't want to end up too steep on this 5. Due to where the 6 is. I like to come down just below the left side pocket if possible. Yeah, this is going to be perfect. You get the sense this could slip away from Woodward real easily. Well, it's actually beginning to. Well, a little work left to do. It's dead straight here. Gets it to settle.
I think he's settling. Woodward falls 4-1 adrift. What a career he's had, Biado. Hero in his native Philippines because he's won golds in singles and doubles in the Southeast Asian Games. 9-ball singles gold medalist in the World Games as well. As for a pool hero the world over, that's Fedor Gorst. He's got a huge fan base in Vietnam, actually. And they'll be cheering on as he wins his first rack against Alexa Pachelsch. Yeah, other successes for Carlo Biado. He's won the Japan Open. When he won that World 9-ball Championship in 2017, he beat Roland Garcia in the final. 13-5. Carlo Biado can't qualify for this event, but Skyler Woodward is going to be front and centre because he is the US Mosconi Cup captain at this year's edition of the transatlantic tussle between America and Europe. It'll take place at a new venue for the event. For the last few years, when it's been over here, we've been in Las Vegas. This time it's East Coast in Florida, the Sunshine State. November 30 to December 3, the Carrah Royale Resort will host an event like no other when it comes to 9-ball pool. The crowd involvement is simply off the charts. Now, we know that Europe have dominated the Mosconi Cup over the last decade or so, maybe longer than that, but I just got a sneaking feeling that the USA will be very tough to beat this time around. If you're wondering where the Carrah Royale Resort is in Orlando, well, it's right in the heart of the Fun Belt. I think it's just across the road from the Hawks Landing Golf Club. And it's a beautiful facility where all of the rooms are suites. It's high class. And I think we're in for a real treat. And of course, the weather in the Sunshine State at that time of year is beautiful. Not too hot, but still winter sun, winter warmth for those of us who live in the Northern Hemisphere. And when it comes to the Mosconi, it's 5-player teams, and as yet, well, we know only half of them. We know that Skyler Woodward and Jason Shaw will be the respective playing captains, and we know after winning the World Championship that Fedor Gorst will be in the USA team. We know really that Shane Van Boning's going to be there as well. How can you possibly deny him? But still, some questions to be answered in that regard. Also going on today, by the way, the start of the Shane Van Boning Junior Open. Lots of enthusiastic youngsters have been around here all day playing matches and also taking advantage of 4 practice tables allocated to them. So Biado looking around the arena trying to glean what's going on. I can tell him Vitaly Pachura 8-7 up on Oscar Dominguez. Michael Bohannon 2-1 up on Lee Van Corteza. 5-2 now for Albin Auschen over Ko Ping Han. And the oldest of the 3 Ko brothers, Ko Pin Yi, he's looking as though he's got 1 foot and several toes in the last 16 because he leads Imran Majid 8-1.
You know, Phil, I think they might have misdubbed SVB. Maybe a better name would be the Workhorse. Over here practicing again. He just puts in so much work.
Never stops, does he? Never, ever stops. There are a lot of phrases in sport that annoy me because they're glib, they're used a lot and they don't really mean a lot. But I'll tell you one thing that does ring true. What Gary Player, the golfer, said, the more I practice, the luckier I get.
Yeah, that's about as good as it gets, right? He earns it. It's never given to him. Biado to break. Yeah, the cue ball high again, Phil. The one ball high of the right side pocket. We've seen it time and time again here on this TV table. The break has not been straightforward for anybody.
Yeah, the one high, I think I'll add a word to that. The one very high, wasn't it, in that instance?
And due to most likely a thick hit, that's why the cue ball's finished up in the center. Woodward walked by me, kind of gave me a look, and just such a sad face, shaking his head in a negative way. Did he fall funny here?
Well, he caught the one just a hair too thick, didn't he? That's why the cue ball didn't travel onto the correct side of the blue too.
Yeah, let's hope. Well, no, he's on a bad side of it. Really struggling right now, and his body language isn't helping anything. I can promise you, Biado will feed off of that. Not what he wanted. Safety is what he wanted, but didn't want to let Biado back to the table with what you would call ball in hand-esque out of the gate. Skyler just really looks uncomfortable to me. Oh, he had the gap. Maybe that's why Skyler looked so uncomfortable. He knew that he gave Biado the gap.
Threading the eye of a needle.
Yeah, there's another look at it. Add insult to injury. The balls that he thread the gap on, he used for cover. And this is too thin. It's going to go all wrong. Just off the mark. He has been since game 1, when he missed the 6 in the top left. Practically stunned Phil and I. That wiped its feet before dropping. Cue ball was always good, though. One rail over, staying above the 5. And there's a good shot. Peering at the shot clock, plenty of time. He can choose to come 1 or 2 rails up towards the 6. Biado not one to be afraid of the inside ball versus a lot of these guys who like to avoid it. No matter what, he did not want to be this straight. Caught the 6 thick, Does that have anything to do with the carbon fiber shaft? When you're using outside English, it's very easy to catch the object ball a lot thicker when you're used to wood. Yeah, perfect line here. He's got that awkward angle. Can't do much better than that. Great strike from Biado.
One becomes 5-1. The woes of Woodward multiply. And this isn't someone who's been playing poorly, by the way. In fact, earlier this month he played very nicely and made some sterling comebacks on the way to the semi-final of the European Open. I think Biado must be surprised with the weak level of resistance he's faced so far. And I say so far because there's still ample time to turn this around. But Woodward might be running out of time. I just mentioned the European Open semi-final run. It wasn't too bad for Woodward either at the World Championship.
I do know Woodward right before the European Open switched cues, obviously still with Q-Tech. He did switch cues. Went with a little thinner shaft.
Yeah, sorry, I misspoke there. Not the World Championship. He also got to the last 16 of the UK Open. That was the other major event in which he's gone deep this year.
And another dry break. Woodward with another opportunity. Nothing tied up here either. He's really getting a lot of low off that kiss in the center. Yeah, he's bumped the 4. Won't hurt him as long as he keeps an angle on the 3. Play the 4 in the lower left.
Look at that. It was so badly struck, even though the 3 went in. The position on the 4 is not anywhere as planned.
Yeah, there's something going on with Skyler right now. I'm not sure what it is, but there's something going on. Although a great safety, nicely played, tight up behind the 6 and 8, it's not what he wanted. Biado taking the extension.
Well, the wall of balls across the table gave Woodward the hook. Now they are to be avoided if he can get from 4 to 5.
Yeah, that's right, Phil. How steep is he on this ball? Well, he banked it. It was a great bank.
Always be relied upon to bank a good ball, Connie.
Okay, nice recovery, great hit there. Felt like he drew the cue ball out a little too far off that bank. Turned out to be perfect. Great little touch there.
Warmly received. I'm not going to say that it was imperative he won that rack, but it was pretty useful. The gap reduced to 5-2. He's still manageable for Woodward if he can get something going, and maybe the catalyst for improved form will be that bank on the 4. Vitaly Pachura and Oscar Dominguez are playing a very lengthy 16th rack. It remains 8-7 to Pachura. David Al-Qaidi now leads Wu Kun Lin 7-1. Michael Bohannon 4-1 up on Lee Van Corteza. 4-1 for Alexa Pachelch over Fedor Gorst. Are we going to see an upset over there? Not a major upset, because Pachelch is considered a fast rising star, but Gorst is the main man, isn't he? Jeffrey Rodder has just started out against Jeffrey Ignacio on table 2 on the Matchroom TikTok. 1-0 to Rodder. It's 5-3 now, Albin Auschen over Koping Han. Surely Koping Yi is going to reach the last 16. In fact, as I started to formulate that sentence, the score flashed up. He has just beaten Imran Majid by 10 racks to 2. So Koping Yi will play either his younger brother Koping Han or Albin Auschen in the last 16 tomorrow.
Needs a good break here. Needs the 8 to fall. Look at the 8. Goodness gracious, how does it hold up like that? It is more than halfway into the side pocket. This ball's not reacting the best. I also feel like that hit was thick too. Phil, look at the 8.
Almost defying the laws established by Isaac Newton, the laws of gravity.
That just gives you an idea how tough these tables are and how deep the shelves are. That's insane.
And you might think, well, why has he spurnt the easy one ball? Well, the answer, shape on the 2 was a virtual impossibility.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Going forward or backwards, he wasn't going to get down here for the 2. Yeah, this is a nice shot. Did he get unlucky? Oh, he did get lucky. Right. I think that was deserved. Played to bend the cue ball up in the corner like that. Extreme high inside ball. Wow. So hard to do. It's hard for me to even wrap my mind around the fact that he tried that. You gotta expect him to have just went for the hit, not the kick and stick there, especially elevating off that back rail.
And this time, Woodward kicks and sticks unintentionally.
Yeah, he's put himself in a worse spot than he was prior. This is no fun. He does have cover with the green 6, 4, and 9. The problem is he's so flat on the 2, he'd like to bank it up towards the 7 and 5. It's extremely difficult. What other options does he have? Got to beat the side pocket. Yeah, it's not terrible, I can tell you from where he was. It was very difficult. To chip the 2 over towards the 7. Chip the 2 past the 5 and use the 7 even better, Phil.
Yes, this small area of the table quite congested. And that makes this escape a little troublesome.
At this.
Paying it forward. What a turnaround. Just missed the 3, caught the 2 perfectly. And now Biado is the man needing a good escape.
That's about as good as you could do from there. Does he bank this to the 8? Depends on how he feels. Yeah, he might just... That's the only concern, is how it finished. I'd like the 2 to follow the 8 in. That would have been ideal. Or just set up in front of the side. Back and forth below the right middle here, I think. He does hit this shot well, typically. Oh, he's overcut it. Could go up towards the 7 here. I don't think he'd mind catching the second rail first here. Yeah. Great shot. Skyler said not again. No way. Did he catch the gap? I don't think so. It doesn't look like it from here. Wow, Phil. Is it going to leak out?
Yeah, this time it's Biado's turn to leave the table in disconsolate mood.
Coming over to the left side. Nothing wrong with it. Draw one rail out here. Oh, he hit that sweep. You could hear the sound of the pocket. Very flush. Stay to the right side here, just contacting the second rail. Oh, this is going to get away from him. Will he have the left side pocket? Oh, it's ended perfect.
So bad it's good. He's struggling, he's not happy, he's making mistakes, and yet he's only 5-3 behind. Skyler Woodward wins 2 in succession, and Carlo Biado, after looking all over the winner at 5-1 in my book, now he's only a couple ahead. Vitaly Patsura remains 8-7 up on Oscar Dominguez. David Alcady 7-2 over Wu Kun Lin. Michael Bohannon 4-2 over Lee Van Corteza. Fedor Gorst has won rack 6 to trail Alexa Pachelch 4-2. Jeffrey Ignacio 2-1 up now on Jeffrey Rodder. 5-4 Albin Auschen over Ko Pin Hang. The only last 32 matches still to go on. Yuan Chua against Jeremy Jones. That will be on table 1 after Pachelch and Gorst complete. Konrad Jajushin and Jason Shaw will take to table 2. And the last match on the main table will be Shane Van Boening against Duong Quoc Wang, USA against Vietnam. I'll be commentating on that one with Carl Boyes. You know what they say? It's not how, but how many. Woodward just needs to get to 10 and then re-evaluate. But he will need, I'm absolutely sure, to improve.
Yeah, but that's a great sign right there. The one goes directly into the middle. The beauty of the WNT is that there's no guarantee after the break. Makes the game a little more difficult. That's what's needed. He's going to wedge him up behind the 9. Does he jiggle the 4 open a little?
Yeah, best of both worlds, that, because the trap has been laid. He wants to force the foul. He wants to get the ball in hand, or he wants to get a chance to clear. And to clear, he had to separate 4 and 9. Every box ticked.
Calling the extension. Is he looking to tie the 3 up? Yeah, didn't get it there. Just trying to get the 3 underneath the 4. That will not do it. It's an opportunity for Woodward to get within 1. For a little while, Phil, it wasn't looking good for Woodward.
It was looking very bleak. But as an attempt to tie a ball up, Biado's last effort was very poor.
I believe he can draw above the purple. Just caught it. It's going to be okay due to where the 6 is. 7 in front of the left side pocket. Just really needs to get this down. The 6 is a big ball. It's not frozen up there on the left long rail. Nice shot by Woodward. Yeah, I like that he called his extension there and really put a little bit more time into that shot. Starting to find his groove.
Yes, in a match at the European Open a couple of weeks ago, he was 9-5 down to Fedor Gorsht. 4 back with 5 to play, and he won it. Not frightened of a fight back. Woodward within one, 3 consecutive racks for him. Carlo Biado's lead shrinks to 5-4. On table 19, Vitali Pachura on the hill against Oscar Dominguez at 9-8. David Alcade almost on the hill against Woo Kun Lin at 8-2. Michael Bohannon 4-2 now over Lee Van Cortese. Jeffrey Ignacio 3-1 over Jeffrey Rodder. 6-4 Albin Aushin over Ko Ping Han. If you're wondering how the last 16 is panning out, well, there's only one match in place right now. Mark Beisterbosch will take on Joshua Filler. Last 16, by the way, will be played tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow morning local time. Then the last 8 quarterfinals will be played tomorrow afternoon, early evening. Actually, till a lie, there's another last 16 match in place. Niels Svein will face Finland's Jani Uski. I think it's been a strange old match, this. Very unexpected in many ways. And so many twists and turns, presumably still ahead.
Yeah, caught him a little thick. His last break was great. This one, not so great. Signs of frustration. Yeah, look at how thick he caught him. Drew him way past the side pocket. One ball resting for the left side. Evaluating on the 2 now. Where can he play it? Definitely goes in the top left or the lower right. Does it go in the right side pocket? No, clever. I never thought of that. And it's traveled a little too far, Phil.
One of Biado's traits normally is precision with the cue ball. That's not really been in evidence in this match yet.
Yeah, trying to get below the 3 there. It does play to the top right, but you've got to be good on it. Now you could chip off the 3 and send the cue ball up behind the 8. That's one option. I think he's going to play it up in the top right. The 3 ball it is. Might be able to send the cue ball back here behind the 7 and 9 and get position on the 4 with a built-in safety. He's hit it too thin. And he didn't have position either. He wanted to stay low. You just saw where his cue was.
Now Skyler Woodward asking the referee to clean the cue ball, but of course when you do that it comes out of your own time, so the clock is still ticking.
Just wasted 10 seconds. Extension.
Woodward forced to take his extension.
You got it. Unless it restarts.
needed that one to go. Phil, does the pink play in the right side pocket? I feel like it does. Yeah, very important that it does. Okay. Wow, he's let this loose. I'm surprised he didn't come one rail up, just right of the 8. He was always going to have traffic with the 7 and the 9. Going that route. Dangerous. Long. It's going to slide out, I think. Oh, it didn't catch the 7, so a big roll for Woodward.
Yeah, didn't catch the 7. Had he caught the 9, slightly thinner, maybe the 5 would have been on. Certainly it would have been available to see. So yeah, you're right. What a roll.
Not going to do it. I don't know where he was trying to finish there. Obviously, catch it a little bit thinner and softer. I believe the 5 passes in the lower left. Now, this needs to settle. Everything just a little bit off for both of these guys. Yeah, very nice. Great recovery.
I must freely admit, when he was 5-1 down, I did not anticipate Woodward getting back onto level terms so quickly.
And that makes 2 of us. Biado, not a friendly foe with a lead.
Five. Woodward hasn't got his best, he hasn't got his A game, he hasn't got his B game, but he's still in there sticking away. Now then, stories around this Harrah's Resort Arena. Oscar Dominguez and Vitaly Pachura have gone to a deciding 19th rack. It's Hill on table 19. David Al-Kaidi 8-2 up on Wu Kun Lin. Michael Boanen 4-3 now over Lee Van Corteza. 3-2 Jeffrey Ignacio over Jeffrey Rodder. 7-4 Albin Auschen against Koping Han. And Fedor Gorsht on table 1. You might recall he was 4-1 down to Alexa Pachelch. Now it's 4-3, but there's a temporary halt in play there because of a lighting issue. They are expected to resume anytime soon though, and when they do, you can see Gorsht against Pachelch on the Matchroom Multisport YouTube channel. They've actually just broken off on table 1, so that lighting issue resolved. As for the Matchroom TikTok, that's on table 2, where the 2 Jeffreys, Ignacio and Rodder, are going head to head. Well, I would like to say now, I think the way things have gone, this is pretty much 50-50.
Much better hit. Nothing down. This table continues to come up dry. And I guess I could say a little bit thin. Watching that cue ball track 2-3 rails below the 9. Yeah, this is a tester. Woodward knows what type of shot maker Biado is, so he doesn't want to give this back. Could chip the left side of the 1. If he doesn't catch the double kiss, a lot of good things can happen. Try and bring the cue ball down here between the 3 and 7. Somewhere towards the 4. He's going to give it back. Let's see what Biado's got up his sleeve. Does he attack this? He's the type of player to do this. Extension call. He is attacking. Now, a big time hit from a big time player. Where does this finish? When you look at this shot, Phil.
You know, that shot is eye-popping. Anytime, anywhere against anyone. But given the fact he's tied with Skyler Woodward 5-5 in a massive tournament, having been 5-1 ahead, what an effort. What a potential catalyst for good things ahead. That was a blockbuster of a shot.
Yeah, one of the best shots I've seen this tournament, without a doubt. Corey Deuel made something similar 2 days ago. But that, under the circumstances, was second to none. Look at this. Talk about gaps. They say what goes around comes around. Is it Woodward's turn to receive the gap? That's going to shorten off real quick. I thought he could make it. Obviously, he couldn't. He wouldn't shoot it like that if he could. I'd have to assume he would attack. Come 2 rails between the 6 and 7. It's done just that. Yeah, the 6 plays in the lower left. This'll work. Doesn't want to collide with the 9. He'll use a low outside ball here. Probably play the 7. It depends. He could play it in the right center or the left. So compact, but generates so much power. We saw that on the 1 ball, this rack.
Woodward's 4-rack winning streak is punctuated. Back in front goes Biado. This is the kind of scoreline I think we anticipated before the match began. We thought it would be keenly contested between 2 fine players. I think the way they've arrived at 6-5, that's the surprising thing. Lots of mistakes. What about these scores? Albin Auschen 7-4 on Kopinghan. 3-2 now for Ignacio over Rodder in the Battle of the Jeffreys. Still 4-3 Pachelsch over Gorst on table 1. David Al-Kadi 8-3 on Wu Kun Lin. And Vitali Pachura and Oscar Dominguez, that is just this second, fallen to Pachura, the man who beat Fedor Gorst in winners qualification yesterday. The Ukrainian has overcome Oscar Dominguez. That's a big blow to Oscar's Mosconi Cup qualification hopes. As for Pachura, he moves into the last 16 to take on Max Lettner tomorrow. Now will Biado be propelled by a second wind in this match? Well, that's encouraging. In goes the 1, open ball 2, open ball 3, etc.
Right up his alley, this shot. I'm a little surprised he stayed all the way up here. I thought he might try to get closer. Can he hold? Yeah, that's what he's looking at now. Yeah, that's what I was surprised about, Phil. I thought he'd try and come a little closer to the 3 to where he could get accurate with holding the cue ball for the 4 in the left middle.
Yeah, the only way he could possibly hold it was to hit the 3 ball a little on the thick side, and he did the opposite. So he's toying with the idea of the 4-7 combo. Sorry, the 4-8 combo.
It's all right, Phil. Yeah, I don't know this is pretty clever. Woodward deserves a gap. I think he's going to get it.
Yeah, he looked at that 4-8 combo for about a split second and then realised it's not worth it. Big risk for small reward.
This is still tricky. Does he try and hold with a low cue ball down there somewhere? Oh, he's decelerated. It's definitely what he tried. I don't know. Biado's going to come away with a shot. If he can play it to the top left, he'll be thrilled. Woodward definitely decelerated on that ball. Going to the jump cue. Practically running. He's on his extension. 10 seconds left.
Needs cover. Does the 5 provide it? He's walking around the table to see. He played that shot with around 1.5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and I don't know that it's got him. This is real thin. It's going to be difficult. Notice the purple down here on the low end. So it's going to be difficult to hold the cue ball down here if he can make it. Skyler's called his extension. Is there any value to even going at it?
God, it's skid him off, bro.
Yeah, you heard him, Phil. He said it skid a mile.
Asking for the cue ball to be cleaned again because of the skid on his previous shot. It's all a bit of a mess, this.
It really is a little bit of a mess, and it's not funny. I know these guys are going through a lot.
Resume it.
Both players clearly on the struggle right now.
That's the thing with cue sports. You can play poorly and win sometimes, and you can play very well and lose. If you're a golfer and you have a good score, you have a good score. If you have a bad score, you're down the field. But this is all relative to what your opponent does.
Yeah, to Phil's point, Gorst. World 9-ball championships, Saudi Arabia. Well, he admits he didn't play his best pool by any means and won the tournament. And he's had other tournaments where he's played as good as he could possibly play and didn't win. And that's cue sports.
He really is tenacious, Woodward. That's the one really positive aspect of this match. He would be the first to admit the standard's been poor. But the competitive nature of the match most certainly isn't. It cannot get any closer 12 racks played. 6-6. Different story on table 21, where David Al-Qaidi is on the hill with a comfortable 9-3 lead over Wu Kun Lin. Michael Bohannon 5-3 over Lee Van Corteza. Fedor Gorst has won 3 on the trot. From 4-1 down, he's back onto level terms with Alexa Pachelch at 4-4. Jeffrey Rodder back in front against Jeffrey Ignacio at 4-3. And Albin Auschen, he'll be quietly pleased. Not satisfied yet, but pleased to be 8-4 up on Koping Han. So Auschen 2 racks away from taking on Koping Yi in the last 16. As for this match, well, either Biado or Woodward next up would play either Pachelch or Gorst. Pachelch has to shake off what's occurred over the last few racks. A useful early lead has been erased. What a shot. Hooked on the 2. Single cushion. Bosh. Into the blue 2 ball. And what's more, shape on the 3. With the 4-5, everything waiting for him. No point in overthinking this, no point in overplaying it. Just keep it simple, connect the dots. But the dots haven't been connected there.
And he didn't keep it simple. What here, Phil? Chip it below the 9 and go up behind the 8, right?
When he escaped that hook and knocked in the 2 at pace spectacularly, you thought, yeah, tailor-made to go on and dish. Not so.
I apologize. Oscar Dominguez wanted to explain to me how Vitali beat him. Pretty crazy set, losing Hill.
Well, at the end of this rack, Scott, you can tell us. Well, maybe you could tell us now.
I don't even, it was a long story. I was gone for quite a while, but I guess Vitali was completely buried behind a ball, Hill. He Zeke kicked it all the way up table, returned and froze Oscar to where he couldn't get to anything.
On such fine margins are racks, matches, tournaments won and lost. Woodward not happy with this.
Yeah, and this table has been breaking extra difficult so far.
Breaking bad.
Very clever, Phil. Very clever.
Well, no, it's pretty obvious actually.
I thought you were referring to the show.
Oh, I was, but it's still pretty obvious. Carl Boyd's back on the commentary podium, ready for the last match of the day. Coming up after this, it will be Shane Van Boening against Duong Kwok Wang.
He likes to use the inside cue ball.
Adam Clapham from Matchroom does a fine job in the media department, together with Jack Mitchell and Jake Asby, and he's also now the coffee carrier for Scott Frost.
Don't get it twisted, Phil. I run for him as well. We're good mates. Thank you very much, Adam. I was in need, buddy.
Didn't notice though, Scott, he made you pay for it.
I didn't mind. That instead of going forward, you could get too far below the 7 to the left side pocket. If you go forward, just pinch it back, stay above it. All is well.
Pretty much everything that can happen on a pool table has happened in this match. The one thing that hasn't occurred is a Skyler Woodward lead, and that remains the case. Carlo Biado led 1-0. Then he went from 1-1 to 5-1. Woodward came back to 5-5. Biado led 6-5 and now 7-6. On table 21, David Al-Kadi, not quite over the line yet against Woo Kun Lin. It's 9-4. Michael Bohannon, 5-3 on Lee Van Corteza. Jeffrey Rodder, 5-3 up on Jeffrey Ignacio. And Ko Ping Han not going down without a fight against Albin Aushin. 8-5 to Aushin there. Our co-commentator, Jeremy Jones, who's had a day off, from behind the microphone to be playing in the tournament and getting into the last 32. He's still waiting to start that match against Johan Chur. He will have to wait until Fedor Gorst and Alexa Pachelch complete their match, and it's a while off yet because those two are 4-4. We've been looking in this match for one of them to find some magic. It's proved elusive so far. Will Biado reserve his best for last?
It's just very odd because at times the break looks good and then it goes away. Like here. Well, bad kiss. From the 2 onto the cue ball. Biado scratches his head, but the 1 rifles in to the right side pocket. That's a good sign. John Lehman, glad he's back and healthy with us, removing the magic rack. Yeah, it looks like he's gonna come off the thin side of this. Does he try to get behind the purple? Yeah, I don't know. That's not what he had in mind.
With too many shots to chronicle in this match, he's been way off, hasn't he? Way off. Do you remember the time when he pushed out and was off the mark? The other time was, I recall, when he was in a really tough hook and he tried to tie up a ball and he was nowhere near.
Yeah, the 3 ball, like half the table off. Look at this. Good clean living for Woodward. He was off the mark by some margin there as well. Yeah, I'd really like to come into the top side of the 2 here. Wow, how do you go in between the 2 and 4 like that?
Well, with ball in hand and an open table, under normal circumstances, you would highly fancy Skyler Woodward to again draw level. But this match hasn't been normal in any way, shape or form. Right from the very first rack when Woodward was in, and he missed the simplest 6 ball imaginable.
Got to expect him to get out here. No real problems. The 8 down here nearest us on the center diamond. The 7 leads to it. Now watch out, 7. In the clear.
Seems to me both of them are playing every shot with a splash of trepidation.
Just going to punch out 1 rail here. Yeah, I could have used a couple more rotations out of the cue ball. Look at where he put his tip. Like to come around to that spot. I don't know. Well, Sky. 1 to avoid the inside cue ball if necessary. Or if can be, so he's going to come around with the outside ball, or at least that was his first idea. I feel like you can hold this for the lower right corner, but he wants to go to the side. Yeah, not too shabby. Is he unhappy with it? You see the shake of the head. Bill, I think he's got to draw it back towards the chalk. Oh, he had a good line. He bluffed me.
And he has even got a angle on the 8. We're going to be all square in a few seconds again. The one thing you cannot fault about Woodward, he's resilient. It was 1-1, 5-5, 6-6, and now 7-7. Talking of resiliency, David Al-Qaedi, real warhorse. He's beaten Woo Kun Lin 10-4. So Al-Qaedi goes into the last 16 to take on either Michael Bohannon or Lee Van Corteza. That's 5-4 on table 20. Fedor Gorst has caught a gear. He was 4-1 down to Alexa Pachelch. Now he leads 6-4. So 5 on the trot for the World Masters and the World 9-ball champion. Jeffrey Rodder 5-4 over Jeffrey Ignacio. And Albin Auschen 8-5 over Koping Han. Now there I was saying Fedor Gorst has caught a gear, and he might go up a gear here with another rack win. No reason why not. No obvious obstacle between him and winning rack 11 at this visit.
He needs that to settle. Overall, Federer looked pretty good this event. He's done what he does, wins when he has to. What's the 9 going to do for Woodward? It's going to drop. We finally see the golden break, Phil.
It just about limped into the pocket, didn't it? Just about reached. The crowd loving it. He really is a crowd favourite all over the world, but particularly here in his native United States of America. Just enough pace to topple.
Yeah, and I believe it got an extra kiss to get it there. I'm not 100% certain. No, it just got a flick off the 1 as it waves goodbye.
Timely. For the first time, Woodward hits the front. Albin Auschen on the hill against Koping Han at 9-5. That's the other news. Now, can the United States Mosconi Cup captain just push on from here?
That's another beautiful thing about this event. This crowd, well, they're pro-USA. They are into it and behind the man at the table. And the 1 holds up, 2 drops. If you can get to the 1, everything good. So the way it lays, even if he can get to the 1, his only concern is getting off the rail. It's probably going to be the biggest challenge here. The harder you hit it, the easier it's going to stick to the rail. So he's got to hit it kind of smooth. And that's about as good as he could do. You could see if he hits it any harder, the cue ball just wants to force follow to the rail and stick. That's about as good as he could do there. Big shot coming up for Woodward. And I love the call. He's aware of this moment. He's finally surpassed Biado in the match. Nothing straightforward here. He's got to knock this ball down. What does he do? Does he come back and forth? He's got options. Does he try to draw above it? That's what it looks like he's going to do. Or even run into it at worst. Yeah, very, very good from there. So he's got an angle here. It's going to come down towards the 6. Oh, this is going to be pretty good. Chose to go forward there, Phil.
Almost, Scott, as though he's come alive with that golden break.
Yeah, well, you mentioned it earlier. He's very tenacious. Doesn't have any give up in him, clearly. Oof. Got into that a little too much. Almost missed it to the low side. He's come up on the 50-yard line, Phil. We remember early in this match, he missed the 9 to the low side. It was similar to this.
It was. You called it, actually, in rack 4. Made the difference between 2-2 and 3-1. Captain America hasn't been Captain Fantastic in this match, but maybe when the chips are down, that's when he's going to deliver. Remember, Woodward was 5-1 down. He was 7-6 down, but now he's on the hill, leading Carlo Biado, the US Open champion of 3 years ago, 9-7. One more needed for Woodward to advance. Fedor Gorsht 7-4 up on Alexa Pachelch. That's 6 on the spin. Jeffrey Ignacio and Jeffrey Rodder 5-5. Albin Auschen 9-5 over Ko Ping Han. That's the only action that's going on at the moment, apart from Michael Bohannon being 5-4 up on Lee Van Cortese. So matches still to go on, of course. Shane Van Boening against Duong Kok Wang will be our last match of the day on the main table. On table 2 on Matchroom TikTok, it will be Konrad Yuzhushin against Jason Shaw. On table 1, Johan Chua against our pal, Jeremy Jones.
Yeah, and you could see there during the break, they were zooming in on Skyler. That's his new cue. He started playing with it right before the European Open. Well, that's his break cue. And a big break to come. Oh, he really amped it. And he caught it way thick. I believe that's why the cue ball finished so high. Let's take another look. It wasn't a bad hit. A fan screamed, "Get in there."
Yeah, I think he got overexcited there.
Yeah, slightly.
Like one of those fans at the golf events when they shout, "Get in the hole," as they tee off on a par 5.
On a par 5. Yeah, this might be too hard. Okay. It's going to hold. Couple feeble cheers for Biado. There's Skyler's finger. He would like to come 3 rails behind this one. A lot of good things can happen if that's the case. Well, how's he living, Phil?
I have to say this, and not being a party pooper, I think Woodward in general has had a good run in this match. He's had some things go against him, of course, but I think at times when he's needed it, luck has been on his side.
Yeah, I can't agree more. Early with the mistakes that he made, a lot of times you really don't get back to the table. Not bad from Biado.
What a pot. 2 avoided, 7 bumped out of the way. Is this the start of the finish?
Yeah, great opener. Here's another look. Wraps around 1, 2, 3 to the 4th rail. Kind of on the 50 here. Well, he jumped straight out of his shoes, overcut it. Pocket did take the ball, but there's a big problem here. And it's that purple 5.
The only thing you can do here, trust your alignment, deliver the cue smoothly, and see what happens. Okay. Not ideal shape, but okay.
Phil said, not ideal. Pretty good recovery. He's not out of the woods yet. Yeah, that's pretty good. All he needs to do is get below the left side pocket. There's a good look at SVB in the background, watching his teammate intently. Well, my goodness, Phil. After a comedy of errors early, it's been a great recovery by the captain of Team USA.
Yes, in that comedy of errors, the last laugh goes to the Kentucky kid based in Texas these days. 8 and 9 between him and the last 16.
This crowd is going to let us know where they're from.
At the 2024 US Open, is the Skyler going to be the limit? It's a Woodward win, we know that. He won 9 of the last 11 racks to turn a 5-1 deficit into a 10-7 victory. Not a memorable performance, but a vital victory, not just for this tournament, but also for qualifying for the Mosconi Cup as of right, and freeing up an extra wildcard position. Skyler Woodward into the last 16 tomorrow. Delighted. And he now waits either Fedor Gorsht or Alexa Pachelsh. It looks increasingly like Gorsht, who leads 8-4 in that one. We'll take a 5-minute break, and afterwards, Carl Boyes will be joining me for Shane Van Boening against Duong Kwok Wang.